welcome to another episode of those Stateside Reds. I apologize for that loud ass bang right there. But some news. Could be positive news. So today, from one of my sources over in Carrington, I've been hearing that Avram Wants day by day, is leaning towards selling Manchester United. Now, we know this is huge. I think with the fact that Manchester United are in so much financial problems, along with the protests that are going on happen on Sunday, hopefully we can get something going over here at that One Love Manchester United event over in New York. I am talking to a few people over there, looking like we may be able to do something so we can hit them at both ends. What's your take on this, Mikey?
Man, this is great news because I was privy to this news, and it's from a very, very trusted source. And yeah, this is good. This is good. This is a good way to be. I mean, this is good. This is good to hear. I hate that there's no like timetable. That would have been the icing on the cake, but you could take what you can get right now. Take what you can get right now. It is what it is, and hopefully we can get that ball rolling. I think if it is going to happen, it's going to be still a couple of years. We're not at the end of it yet, so that's why we need all the Reds, everybody, America in general, man.
Yeah,
come get together, get with us. We're your gateway, bro. We can get Sean's already done the banner. I'm working on some stuff for Atlanta. If you're in the Atlanta area, you watching this. If you're in Pittsburgh area or New York, you want to get involved, you want to have your say, you love this club, tap in with us, man. We got the sources.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to do something big in Atlanta. I'm going to be down there with you, Mikey. I'm going to be coming to Atlanta. We're going to be doing something big down there. And the more that us as the US United fan base can get on, and with the wonderful people over at 1958, what they're doing this weekend, if they could do that side, we can do this side. The more that we do over here, it's more noticeable for them. We all know they don't go to Man United games. They'll go to Wembley if we make a final, but they don't go to the home games. We start making a statement back over here, they're going to notice it. I know from people that went to the Tampa game that they were there, they noticed the banner. I'm not saying that we did it, but it was just coincidence a couple of days later, or a couple of weeks later that, the news came out that they're going to be going with a Ineos right after that. So it is something that we can do. It is very noticeable for the Glazers over there. And right here at Statesidereds, this is where it's going to start. This is where it's all going to start. We are going to be full head straight onto these protests over here. And we are going after Avram. Because, these sources, they're very, very accurate. So, trust me on this one. We can get him pushed over the line. There'd only be one left, and we all know. Got a whole family that wants to. If you got a whole family by one that wants to sell, it's gonna get sold.
I'll say this. I'm sorry. Were you finished? Okay, yeah. I'll say this, man. I don't want to hear one thing. I don't want to hear, and you guys can, whoever sees this, you can save the naysaying. I don't want to hear it. This is what we're doing. We already have done something. Okay, we've already done something, and we plan to do more already. Right. I don't want to hear all the reasons why you think if you don't want to protest, if you don't want to do anything, sit down on the side, keep your mouth quiet, and enjoy what you're seeing on the pitch, because that's clearly what you like. Okay. I never liked, and I'm going to get a bunch of it, but it's going to be a bunch of people that are like, oh, I don't understand why you guys are doing this. It's not going to solve anything. And it's like, the part of protest is to disrupt, right? You might not get the end product of what you're looking for, but you're looking for that. You have to seek it. I never knew you can ask for something, not put any action behind it, and then expect it. Because
Mhm.
there'll be the same people that's complaining all of the players, and then this and that, and then Old Trafford, or we don't want to hear that no more. Start putting those words into action if you really care. If you don't care and you're just a casual fan, like how you're a fan of the Colorado Rapids or whatever the hell, Real Salt Lake or whatever, then enjoy that. Enjoy that. Don't bother us. We're going to keep doing what we do. It's either get down or lay down.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about what could happen if the Glazers do sell. You know, I saw reports on another channel the other day that I think it was only 3%. I'm not 100%. I'm not gonna fully quote. It was like 3% that want Ineos to take full control. Would you be interested in, say, Guitar coming back in, owning the fifth whatever the Glazers own, and then working with Sir Jim to build a better Man United? Would you be? Is that something you'd be interested in? Or because we also know that no one else went in for that. It was only those two. If the Glazers are willing to sell again, they've got to work with Ineos. Now, this is even a harder sell than the first time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and it looks like the one thing for me is I would be interested in Guitar coming in and having the Sheik come back and having a dual partnership with Ineos and putting this club forward, building a new stadium. We know that they got the funds to build a new stadium, update our training at Carrington, and just bring in Man United back to where it belongs. For me, though, with that comes spending, and I'm just not wanting Manchester United to go down the road of where we've been for the last 10 years and just buying big names for the sake of it. I actually like the direction that Man United are going in and buying young, exciting talent that have sell-on value.
Yep.
So that's the only thing that worries me about Sheik coming in and just spending all that.
So my thing with I'm not a, I'm okay with it. I was okay with the Sheik having it to begin with. Um, I thought he should have got it, but I was also okay with Sir Jim because the way he was talking at the moment. I think I need to hear what the Sheikh has planned. I don't think I've heard enough of, hey, we're already doing this regeneration thing. How are you going to come and contribute to it? That's what I want to hear from him. Um, I think that it'd be a good idea, but anybody that is interested in bringing this club back to former glory and has the money, it doesn't have to be the Sheikh. It doesn't have to be. It could be any. So Liam said, "If the Sheikh exists," that's funny. But yeah, it doesn't have to be. It could be anyone except for Elon, not Elon or Trump, but anybody or Soros. None of them. But anybody that wants to bring this club, restore it back, I would like for it not to be an American.
Yeah.
So, it's not anybody. There's a few criteria. But, whoever wants to come and bring it back to our former glory, then please. But the debt has to be handled first. And you have to you have to tell me a plan. Well, not tell me because who am I? But I would like to hear a plan in place to how you're going to come up with the money and not just interest payments, not just 33 million. How you're going to come up to take a big chunk of that out? I'm not saying pay all of it, but pay half and then put a plan in place to play the next half.
Yeah.
An actual payment plan that's going to go towards principal interest because we're just paying interest payments and it's still swelling.
Yeah.
We're still there.
Yeah. For me, it's if you're going to come in and buy Man United, you're going to have to. There's very few people in the world that could do that. If it's somebody other than Sheik, and I get you, Liam, if he does exist, you're looking at most possibly a consortium just like Chelsea that can really come in and afford it. And it's unfortunate that it would probably be some Americans. I don't say that negatively about American people. It's just we look at American teams, American-owned teams, and their fans always seem to want. Yeah, the fans always seem to want them out. We got Chelsea spending a lot of money, changing the way things are done with their 7-year contracts. City are now on the 9-year contract chain, so it's catchy. So for me, anyone that comes in, that debt has to be number one priority. Has to be handled. And then second for me is I don't hate on me. I am a person that wants a new stadium. I'm not saying demolish Old Trafford. But I'm all for it, especially if you got new owners, downgrading it and putting it for the women's team and the youth academy team, have them play side by side. But for me, I do look at the bigger picture and having that massive stadium with a big, down like in LA, that big screen going along the middle. I know a lot of people in here that have probably been to an Old Trafford game. It is hell when there's a VAR decision because there is no screen. I was there for the Wolves opener 2 years ago. There was a stupid ass goalie, Onana, come out, punched the player in the head, and then VAR in the last minute of the game, and I'm sitting there going, "What's going on? Like, we can't even see the replay, and I'm on the other end of the pitch, so I couldn't even see it." So yeah, a nice video motto would be great, but for me, that's the two things: new stadium, handle the debt. So that's for me is where like I actually see Man United going forward in the future and getting rid of some of that debt. 100,000 seat stadium. You're talking about sponsorships. You're talking about seats. You're talking about newer food. Like the food at Old Trafford isn't great. When I was there, I got a Man United pie.
Yeah, I got a
little pie that came with a Man United wrapper on it.
Yep. It was £4.50. I said, rotten. What is this?
It wasn't bad, but it was
cold.
Yeah. I like, British people, we like our food like that. Sorry about that, Mikey. But yeah, it's, and if you look at American stadiums, like in England, you're not allowed to drink in the stands. So having an area, kind of like a baseball area where you can stand and maybe watch the game while having a drink or two, like is a luxury that people in England are going to love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm all for a new stadium. Just not really necessarily all for knocking down Old Trafford. So that's the big news. It looks like Avram day by day is leaning towards selling, and I'm excited for this. And for me, and you, Mikey, and Casey, and everyone else that's part of the Statesidereds, and we got to jump on this. Why the iron is hot, as they say. And there is things in the works that I've been working on today with Mikey and the group over at 1958. They've been absolutely wonderful today. And I will say this, down in the link, I have put, if you could go to their website today, please subscribe to them. They are free, and everything that they're doing over in Manchester is incredible. This weekend I've got the protest going on, so please go over. It's in the link below. Hit the link. Go over. Just give them a follow. Subscribe to their newsletter. And we appreciate everything that 1958 has done. So that for me is awesome news. Also, we're going to get some stuff going on that we'll be announcing it, hopefully soon, Mikey. Something that we're going to be doing down in Tampa.
We got plans, man.
Sorry?
We got plans.
We do have plans, and it's looking good, and hopefully, Liam, please get back to me regarding this weekend. That would be amazing. Let me get to some of the comments here.
Mr. Green, I'm sorry, man. We had a meeting today, like around 2 or 3. We got some great news, so I didn't get a chance to patch you in for today's show. But next time, I'm thinking like next Monday, I'll definitely have you on, and we'll send you the link so you can log on a little earlier, and we can do a sound check. So that's on me. I have your email still. I apologize.
Yeah, we do apologize for that, Mr. Green.
We got excited, man.
Yeah. One of the other things that I kind of looking at today and having that chat with 1958 today is I'm still waiting for 100% confirmation, but there is a big chance that 1958 will be on our show on Thursday to take some questions from you guys and from us about the protests and everything else. So hopefully that can happen on Thursday. If not, Thursday we'll definitely be getting it in the near future. And Mr. Green, we will be getting you in on Monday. Big things happening over here at Statesidereds. Anybody else? Liam, if you're ever interested in coming on the show, we're more than love to have you on here.
Just like any.
Sorry?
I'm sorry. Let me just get in this real quick before I forget, and I apologize.
So I was on a roll there.
Real quick, this is what I need from the chat, right? Everybody that's watching for that Thursday show, that is a very important show, right? If we get the 1958 to do, right? That is a very important. Just a couple weeks ago, I watched 𝗦𝗶𝗴𝙍 do a 1958 interview, right? This is big for us here in America. We need to get the ball rolling on getting this thing some more eyes and awareness. So everybody in the chat, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Instagram, if you're on damn Hinge, if you're on Grinder, put it out there. Say, hey, Thursday, blah blah blah. I'm coming with some really good questions. I'm coming with some real stick it to them questions. Something that some questions I really had about the movement. I already know a lot about it, did a video about it. So, if you have any questions, I need you to come ready with your questions for the 1958 guys. These are lifelong Man United fans that have been fighting the Glazers since '05. So you want to get involved, get in that link. And if you have any questions, Thursday's the day to do it. But please, please, please send a blast out.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, just want to go through some of the comments here. Ronaldo saying Carrington sources. We big in the dance. Yes, we are. Avram out. Casey with Sean with a big sauce blood clot. Yeah, I try. Ronaldo with, if Sir Jim loved the club as much as he claimed he should have taken some of that 4.2 billion he had embarked on Chelsea and used that to buy off the debt. That would improve our financial standing. I agree with you, but we also know that they can't put any more money in until next fiscal, which is in June. So let's see in June, and let's see, whether they put some of that money in.
Yeah.
Jordan Long, bring back the Chic baby. Erasing the debt is massive. Dan Taylor, Avram out. Liam with if Chic exists. Sanjeev with ponytail out. I love that one, Sanjeev. The Sheik is actually just an AI bot. The Sheik family is worth over 100 billion. That's insane. Absolutely. That all depends. It's just like kind of like someone like Eon. Like, yeah, they're worth that, but is their money tied up in in other sources? Did anyone else expect more bids besides Sir Jim and Ineos? And the supposed non-bid from Sheik didn't seem like billionaires were beating down the door. You're absolutely correct, and that is a worry, though. You know what I mean? It's kind of worrying. Were other companies aware the fact that they only wanted to sell a part in Manchester United and not the full sale, and that's why they weren't bidding? You know what I mean? Because I expected more people to come in, like a consortium from the US, to do that bid. So a great question there, Liam. So from my perspective, yeah, I'm just wondering whether they knew, you know what I mean, whether it wasn't ever going to be a full sale.
Well, they would know that there's a crazy amount of debt that's accumulated over 20 years.
Yeah.
And like they'll see that as a part of the evaluation of the club and then weigh it up against how much they actually make it to maintain, to run the club as is, and then all the needs. So we have hella needs on top of overly paying players, the damn stadium, the now regeneration. So it's like I didn't see who would. I was surprised that we had two people that were willing to. One that was gung ho for full sale, and another one that would accept a percentage because we're not attractive. We're not attractive. A lot of money is going to get poured into this thing. We are attractive, right? This is, like I always say, this is the New York Yankees. This is the Dallas Cowboys. This is all of that smashed into one. Okay, those are both of those things. We're the most recognized logo on the planet outside of Real Madrid and Barcelona, right? We're right there in Liverpool. They know what they have in it, but it's how much money are they willing to pour into it and how much are they going to get back out at the end of the day, and then having to build a stadium on top of it. Because like we've heard this Old Trafford's falling down for years. We've known it for years. And before we were thinking about a new stadium, we just wanted to slap a paint and fix the roof. Now, we're going into this. So I think they knew. I was actually surprised when those two got in for it, but I knew the Sheik wouldn't get it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I kind of with the Sheik whole kind of like Was he real? Wasn't he real? And that was the whole issue for me. Liam Brown saying conversations being had as we speak. I appreciate that. Please reach out to me if there's something that wants to go on. I will then talk to the 1958. They are willing to help with the protest over in New York. So please let me know whatever the outcome of that would be. Even if it's one or two people with just a sign up. Got to remember, sponsors are going to be there on Sunday. This is a massive opportunity for us, Statesidereds, to show England that we give a shit about Man United as much as people in Manchester.
Yep.
But anybody else going there other than New York and New Jersey, please let me know. No, this is unfortunately I can't go. But you know, I will be going to Atlanta. That's going to be a mess. That's going to be huge. And then I will also be going to Old Trafford in August. So, you know, hopefully, you know, we could something going on over there.
I'm kind of conflicted because, like, I'm not going to the game if we're protesting, right? I'm not going to go to the game.
Yeah.
So, like, which is fine. It's a preseason game, right? Like, I'm not going to that game. So, like, people are going to have to make a business decision. So it's going to be interesting to see how many people are like, all right, yeah, I won't go either. Screw them.
Yeah.
I'm not giving, you know, that's when we'll see the real fan. And that's where I fear for our fan, like, ship. That people are so excited to pay $200 to sit 700 feet in the air to damn see specks, little red specks run around. So much so that they won't, you know, come outside out the front and say, hey, fuck these guys, man. They've been robbing us. We buy all this shit and they can't give us a good product on the pitch. People are paying extra for tickets. The roof's caving in. There's rats. People are taking away food. Like, you know, people have to make a business decision at that point. But don't be afraid to. Don't be afraid to. If you want to go to the game, enjoy the game. I'm gonna look at you funny though.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like at Old Trafford, we've also with the people like ourselves who've been to see Manchester United, whether it's over here in the States or at Manchester, we've also got to remember that there's families that are wanting to go to take their, like me, I'm taking my child, that don't have that opportunity to and the luxury to go over to England to watch their teams. So we've got to also give them credit and let them take their, you know, kids, or even if they're an adult and they've never seen Man United. You know, not everyone has the ability to go over to England and go to see Man United. This is a big opportunity for a lot of people out there to see Man, whether it's just a preseason or not. You know, so
can't say none of that. That's true. I'm gonna still look at you funny, and I'm not gonna listen to you when you complain.
Absolutely. Let's move on. Also, some big dropping news today. Don't know who dropped the ball, but I also understand it. Chido will not be included in the rest of the season for Man United in Europa League. Yeah, big hit today. I don't know who dropped the ball on that, but again, I do understand it because a month and a half ago when a month ago when the teams needed to be put out, we didn't really think we would be calling up a 17-year-old to, you know, save our asses. So I do understand it. Big loss though. What's your thoughts on that?
Makes sense. Once again, I was listening to United View today. Flex made a good point when he was like, shout out to United View, but he made a good point. He was like, man, you know, we, like you just said as well, we shouldn't be relying on this kid, right? He hadn't even got a real, he's had played 3 games, I think, in under 21, right? So he's played a bunch in the U19, but under 21, we're like, nah, mate, come, we need you, right? This is desperation here. So yeah, it's only 2 more games, but still, we need to win. We need to win. You're 100% right. And we were bigger than all these clubs. Yes, we were bigger than Liverpool and Real Madrid at one time.
Still are bigger than. Sorry, but
we still are. I think we're bigger than. I think we're big, especially in the States. In the States, if you meet 10 people, 6 of them are Man United fans, for sure. Like, there's a lot of us. But anywho, it's Erasmus. It just goes back to Erasmus Højlund, right? It goes all the way back to Erasmus Højlund and like how shocking he's been in play. And you know, this we're 22 games, 2 goals in the league. what is it, 5 in Europe. He said he tends to show up in Europe,
He does,
but
yeah.
he has to pick it up. I'm not giving up on him yet, but I do. We really can't because we don't have the reserves. But he looked knackered. He looked tired, and he didn't even, he looked. These guys are tired. They're playing a lot of games. I mean, they have to play. There's no real subs for them to have. So I don't know, man. We're in a bad place, and I said it. I'm like, hey, all it takes is a couple players in key spots to get hurt, and that's why I wanted to do a bit of business in January. But we're so broke. The best we can do is Dorgu.
I'm not sure. I was told that I think 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 did he. I think he broke the record for the most consecutive goals without a most consecutive games without a goal as the leading striker for Manchester United in the last 50 years.
He has 7 goals in 35 games.
Yeah, he has 0 in the last 18.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's not good, and for me, it's worrying because I just want him to score a goal. Just score a goal, but the problem I'm seeing though, Mr. Green got it there. Like Obi had in 30 minutes got into more scoring positions than 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 has in 18 games.
That's
And
what I was saying.
yeah, and for me, I've always been one of those people that's like, he needed service, he needed service. But on Sunday, I changed my mind because I was like, Chido's getting the same team, the same service that Rasmus is getting, but having a lot more success. Like he's put like some of the things that I saw him do, like that one way he shot with the outside of his right foot, where he, from the left side of the goal, he made that happen. Like he got between the player and the ball, he managed to hold off the player, still managed to turn his body, and still,
Bassey.
yeah,
Fucking Bassey.
yeah, and still get the shot off, and a little bit harder and a little bit more to the left, that goes in.
He had 3 chances, and Leno just happened to be on point. He
2 of
happened to
them.
be on point, right?
Yeah.
Like insane. And then the way he barged Bassey off,
Mhm.
𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 had been getting abused by that dude the whole game.
He would have fell over.
Yeah, so like that's what I was saying when I was saying initially that service is important. Let's not get it fucked up that you shouldn't get service. Like strikers shouldn't expect service. That's insane, right?
Mhm.
But how much of it is that when you're a striker, right? It's a rhythm thing. You have to put yourself in positions to do things, to find it. And I always bring up what's his name? Gabriel Jesus from Arsenal. He doesn't score a lot of goals. He can score 10, 11 goals, but typically doesn't. He didn't really score a lot of goals at City. He scored a decent amount. But what did he do? He put himself in positions to affect the game outside of just striking, right?
Yeah.
To abuse the back line. To like when they play against him, it's a problem. Diego Costa was another striker like that, right? Diego Costa, now he was prolific towards like the latter stages of Chelsea, but he would just run you into the ground and grind you into some shit you didn't want to be in. He was a real shithouse player. So you got to be like that. I don't mind him wrestling, but they have to feel you. You have to be able to stick the ball onto your leg and do something with that wrestling move instead of going down to the ground. Put yourselves in those positions to receive the ball, receive a pass, and see guys coming forward because he can't pass either. He's not a good passer of the ball at all. So this guy is 22 years old. I made a little video about him on the thing, and I was really asking the question, what do you guys think is wrong with 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀? I also think, which I didn't say in that video, is that he's also way too young to be leading the line at
He
Man
is.
United.
Mhm.
And that's why I have to leave it with him. I can't even be too critical on the kid. He's just way too young and being asked way too much. At the same time, he was almost 60 million.
Yeah.
70 million. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to look at those wages. You got to look at what you signed for, it came for. I got called a clown today because they were like, in the comments, oh, he played for Atalanta. He was mid there. What did you expect? And I'm like, so should I not back him? I'm still backing him.
Let's not get this little skewed here. Atalanta, they beat Liverpool last year.
Oh.
Like they're a good side. They produce some really good talent. So, he I could see where United were going for, and I agree with you. And it's going to bring me on to another point with Chido is if we are expecting this much from Højlund, because, and I know he has a bigger price tag, but for me, we've got to also temper those expectations with Chido, because Chido's only 17. I know he looked good for the first 10 minutes that he was on. I don't even think he touched the ball, but once he got into the game and started getting some shots off, starting to get, that's why I think for me, I think he should start versus Arsenal. He knows the team, so if Højlund doesn't score again Thursday, and I'm really worried about this because we played a hell of a long time at the weekend and these players were exhausted. I am extremely worried about Thursday. Like, I don't even want to say it, but like, I can't see us winning. I just can't. But knowing Man United, they'll pull something out their ass and win the game. We've got to temper expectations with Chido. We can't. You can't be just.
They're slagging him off online.
They're what? Sorry.
They're slagging him off online.
Slagging who off?
Cheeto.
Why? Oh, Arsenal fans.
No, United fan. Like, what the? We just can't. He can't score. What is he doing? What is this kid doing? Like, they were onto him, and I'm like, yeah, we're cooked, bro. We're cooked. Nobody gets grace at this club.
Yeah. So yeah, that's okay. He's 17, man. Like, so again, it's that section of the fan base, and I'm gonna call it a section of the fan base that's out there that's like, oh, the 17-year-old can't score in his first game that he had with 60 minutes. Okay, great. Well, yeah, Rasmus Højlund can't score in 18 games. Like, this is the toxicity that we get from some of the fan base, and I hate it. Let the kid just progress into the team. This is why, for me, it is essential that we go out and get an established striker in the summer that Chido and Rasmus can sit behind and learn. I think there's a player there in Rasmus. He scored 16 goals last year, so there is a player in there. I just think this year, right now, it's more to do with a real lack of confidence. You're also talking about him having to learn a new system, second in a year. So, and he's still young. I think what's he 21? He's still a young player. Got plenty of time to come into his prime.
22.
He's 22. Still, you don't hit your prime till what, 27? So he's got plenty of time.
I'd say like 25, 26. You should be striding into your prime there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So let's talk about the game.
The game.
What a shit show. Absolute shit show. I think the only 3 players that could come out of that with any semblance of having their head held high is me, 𝗈𝙬, Bruno Fernandes, because that guy was tired, and Chido, because he's a 17-year-old who I think did really well in the game. Everybody else,
I'll give Ďalo some. I'll give Ďalo some. Ďalo put the cross in for the assist.
Yeah, but he didn't do fuck all for the rest of the game.
Hey, the one goal we scored was provided by him, and he was getting up and down.
I'm just gonna go in general. I
can't hang his head.
Yeah, just in general, for me, it was just a shit show. I said on the video I released, I think the defense did well. I don't think there was nothing much you could have done for the goal. It was, I think Maz is slightly a fault for it. I think he should have held his line a little bit more. But every player is going to come out for that to try and head it away. It was just a deflection, went straight onto his head and into the back of the net. I don't even think Onana could have done any better for that.
Nope.
Maybe a taller goalkeeper, but that's about it. So I think the defense did really well. Midfield, again, where were they? I get 𝗈𝙬. We brought him to be that type of player, but at some point he has to stop getting a yellow card. I think he's averaging a yellow card a game right now, which is not good. Because at some point here in the future, like, he's already been suspended for the amount of yellows he's got. Now going to look at a bigger ban for more yellows accumulated in a season.
And he's going to get them.
He's going to get them. But at the end of the day, I also don't want him to take away that physicality because it's something United have missed in midfield for a long time.
Yeah.
I just think I'm gonna give it to him this season because this is his first year in the Premier League. He's more used to a slower paced game. I'm not gonna say a worse league, but slower paced games. The Premier League, it goes quickly. So for me, I'm gonna give him the season. Hopefully next year we calm down on the yellows. But the front line, someone call 911 because we seem to be missing a fucking striker. Like, what is going on? Like, I think, for me, I think 𝙈𝙀𝙀 had a decent game. I'm not even going to give him more than a 6. It was a decent game. He holds the ball up real well. He drops back real well to collect the ball. He progresses the ball forward. But the guy can't hit the back end of a barn. I don't even think he had a shot on goal.
No.
Rasmus Højlund can't figure out the right run. He has 2 options, and he picks the wrong one every single time.
Every time.
And Garnacho, what the f are you doing? You had an opportunity when you were running at the defense. There's a player sitting right next to the goal, the penalty spot, and you decide to take a shot. The player's wide open. I get that you're a young player. I get that you're going to make the wrong decision sometimes. But do we need to put a neck brace on this kid so he can look up when he's running with the ball? Because I don't know if you've noticed it. When he runs with the ball, he's like this. He's scared to figure out the ball's coming. And we can see it in his dribbling because he has the worst dribbling rate against a defender in the Premier League for his position. Pick your chin up, buddy. Look where you're going when you're running with a ball. You're going to see that pass. You pass that, it's a goal. The guy's wide open. That's my little rant. I'll let you go with the team, man, because dude, we're gonna have to start calling 9 in England, by the way, it's 999. So
yeah.
So we're gonna have to start calling 999 in England to figure out where the hell of our strikers are going, because this is getting too much now.
I will say, a little Onana report. He did tuck away a couple saves from Smith Rowe that was necessary, but he was taking way too long to get the ball going, and that pissed off the crowd. But at the same time, Amorim was saying that was on purpose because they were so tired. Yeah. They had to go and get back in position. So
I can understand at the end of the game, not the beginning of the game.
So like I get it. I'm still kind of on him. I'm just out on him. But he did have a couple good saves to keep. He kept us in the game because it could have been 4-1.
Yeah, my only problem with him, though, is when he does receive a shot, he doesn't. I don't understand how United goalkeeper coach is not working on this, because if I can see it, how the goalkeeper, he can't catch a ball. It's very rare that he can catch a ball. When the shot is shot at him, he dives and it spills. And it happened again at the weekend. It almost, I don't even remember, it hit the bottom of his arm. It was this close from going in, and it shouldn't have done. You look at the FA Cup last year, that goal shouldn't have gone in. You know, in the last couple of minutes against City, and it worries me that he doesn't have the ability to control that ball when it's being shot at him.
Yeah, he's done. He's done. But I will say he saved it, and
he did. He did.
We lost the game still because he couldn't save the penalty, which I think it's a little crazy for people to he can't save it, he's going down. I'm like, penalties are a lottery, bro. Let me put you in that goal against some of these guys. And what they're doing now is they're doing that last minute stutter.
Yeah.
So just they're waiting you out. And you know who's really good at that? Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney takes it with his eyes closed. Yeah. That's how good he is at waiting for you at the last minute.
And the thing with that, real quick, though, Mikey, is that a lot of the reason they do that is because if the goalkeeper moves before the ball's shot, they get to retake it if they miss it anyway. The goalie can't move on his line.
And you're gonna move. You're gonna move because you're guessing where it could be, and it could go anywhere. So
yeah,
it could go 4 different directions and at you. So, you know, I want to say, though, for Amorim, for the coaching staff, what the fuck is Lindelof doing taking a penalty?
I agree.
What is now? Granted, Lindelof is pretty good with his feet, like passing wise, right? Passing and shooting are two different things, but it takes us. He could pass the ball forward, so I don't think it's too hard for me to believe. But that was such a bad penalty. He's over the ball, right? He strikes and he's telegraphing it. You know where it's going. I'm like, oh, he's gonna miss. He's gonna miss. Like a David De Gea-esque penalty. Now, here's the difference. David De Gea is a damn goalkeeper. He's not expected to make penalties. That was awful. Xerxes behind it. This was the icing on the cake for me. Okay, I think Leno just makes a great save there. Guess is right. You're gonna do that. It's a lottery, but Lindelof should not be taken. We have Chido, Garnacho. And we have all these other players that can take a penalty way before we even get to Lindelof. But that was terrible. I just knew it was over then, and you could tell when a guy's not gonna make a penalty. I know I say the David De Gea thing all the time, but before David De Gea steps up for a penalty, he does this. Anytime I see that, I'm like, oh yeah. Bruno's not doing that. Bruno steps up to it. It's almost like he's pissed off. He has to take it.
Yeah,
you know
passes
what I'm saying?
Was a good.
Dalot takes his cold as ice. Technique, cold as ice. Never saving it. Just didn't understand it there. I understand that Amorim, but my Amorim doesn't control that. But my question there is, why Lindelof though? I know he had to come in the game, but why him? We had other players. I know you're thinking about it as the clock's ticking down. You're like, all right, well, we're gonna obviously go into pens. This is who I like. This is who I don't like. Why is Lindelof high on that list to be taking a pen? Don't understand it.
And if the players are standing there saying, "I want to take the penalty," come on, man, you're the coach. You should be going, "No, you're not." Like, first of all, he was. I think I would give him a 2 out of 10 for the game. He was horrendous. No, I get that he hasn't been here for a little while, and he hasn't
played in a while. I can't even be too tough on him.
Dude, I wouldn't be mad if he never plays for us again. He's clearly gone in the summer. Why are we playing?
He's done. He hasn't played in months. So he was really just there as for what he was. Like, we needed another body. So he needs time to play. I don't think Lindelof's terrible. He's just not our quality anymore. But he was terrible. He was terrible in this game. But I also have to chalk it up to he hasn't played.
I'll chalk it up. But for me,
Lindelof looks good in the dress. Lord have mercy and pause. All right. What does that have to do with football?
I'm questioning some things.
Okay, Casey. All right, Casey. Hey. This was the first game I questioned Amorim's decision. Oh, no, he's done a lot more questionable things.
I think last week was questionable, too. Some of the substitutions.
When he put Dorgu and switched Dorgu and Dalot, that was questionable. When he didn't play Chido for the whole game and gave him 3 minutes the first time, that was questionable. But he's changed. The thing is, he will change it. Listen, guys, I know everybody here, we're all on one accord. We know that Amorim is the guy, and he needs to have his team. So we can't really look too much into it, right? We just know we want to win games and blah, blah, blah. We want a style of play, and we like what he's doing. But he's not above reproach. He can be critiqued. He makes mistakes. He does make mistakes. Does that make him a bad manager? No. Fergie made mistakes. I hate to even go back and mention Fergie. All the managers from Fergie and beyond have made mistakes. It's going to happen.
Pep makes mistakes. Look at him this season.
Pep makes mistakes.
Yeah.
Klopp made mistakes. Klopp made major mistakes. Like Mourinho, we could go on. Ancelotti, all of them. They make mistakes. So,
let's not
mad at it.
Yeah. We have to give young players credit. And we also have to give young players, some time to adapt, and also with their decision making. I think we've given Garnacho enough time for me. I think he should go in the summer, but we also need to remember he's a young coach. He's younger than me. Ruben Amorim is younger than me. He's a young manager. He's going to make mistakes. We do need to give him some patience. He is going to make mistakes. But again, I do agree he is the right man. I think given some time in the summer to not play any games, get some players in that are his, you know where I sit for next season. So that's kind of me. I want to bring up something that I kind of heard in the press conference on Sunday.
Okay.
From Amorim. I don't know if you've heard this.
Yeah.
Amorim said he has already told his players who is staying and who is going.
Yep.
Do you think that's a bad mistake? let me get my say in real quick. I think it's a mistake because you've got a bunch of players now that know they're going in the summer who are not going to want to fight. Because we know the mentality of players now. It's not the same mentality as back in the day. They're not going to go, oh, we have the option to go out on a big, we win a European title at Man United. These players are going to soak. These players are going to leak. These players are going to just not do what they want to do because they know they're not playing for Manchester United next year. Let me hear your.
So at a job, if I tell you, hey, I know you just signed this contract to work for us for 5 years, but we're going to get rid of you like come summertime. What are you going to do? Are you going to work your ass off for this manager? No, you're going to leave. You're going to be preparing your shit to leave. I know I would. I wouldn't be
taking some pencils from the pencil case.
I would be have my eyes on the damn surge protector. I got my eyes on some things. I need to walk out of here because I'm leaving with something. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think that's a Ten Hag-ish move to me. Don't say that. But they should also work their ass off to get another job. These guys are getting another job anyway. Yeah. They're going to get another job. Somebody's going to pick up some of these guys. I think the only person that probably won't get a job is damn Johnny Evans, and that's because he's old. Yeah. You know, he could work elsewhere. Johnny Evans could go and help another team elsewhere, but he's old. So, but these guys are giving. And Lindelof will go somewhere. Yeah. Right? Lindelof will get a job somewhere. Rashford is going to go on and, but I don't think that's a good thing to say. Just attitude aside. Let's just take that attitude thing and put it over here. You're asking me to run through a brick wall for you in this critical part of the season, and you're telling me you don't value my play at this moment. I could be shit. Don't get me wrong. All these guys are shit. All of them. Right? Except for the young guys. But all of them have shown in individual times that they could be bad. How do you get these guys to motivate them when you're talking to them when they know they're not going to be here? That would go in my ear and out the other, honestly. Especially the thing is, we all think these guys, they know they're playing bad, but they might be playing the best that they can. Yeah. Right? They might be playing at their absolute capacity at this point in the season. And they're like, damn, that's still not good enough. Fuck it, I'll leave here too. Pull a Rashford. Don't think that's the best thing.
Casey has a slight good point here. And it's a good point, should I say. They ain't fighting anyway, and we are in a position where it can't get any worse. Oh, it can. It can. Oh, it can get a lot worse. We talking about Bruno going down.
Listen to what I'm saying, Casey. Listen before you talk. I said he's going to ask them to run through a brick wall for them come weekend time. He is going to because he's the manager. How could you ask a guy to run through a brick wall and you don't rate them, right? You don't rate them. But keep that to yourself. Keep that to yourself. Get the energy high and then leave room for them to change your mind, right? Ten Hag came out and said that bullshit he said about Sancho. No, Sancho's a fucking bum anyway. We know that now with retrospect, but he was wrong for doing that. Yeah. You're wrong. That was never a good thing to do. So, like I said, the mentality on these guys are weak. You don't need anything else. They got enough people in the world. They got Roy Keane and Wayne Rooney to come in and say their 2 cents at the end of the game every week. Paul Scholes, Michael Owen, all of them, man, there. On top of that, now your coach telling you, come on, who would want to play for this? Yeah. Who would want to play for it?
No, we're not saying Amorim is stupid. Here's a way to compare.
Casey always does this, bro. He says the exact opposite of what you just said. Well, listen to what I'm saying. Amorim.
Real quick, here's a way that I can compare it.
Keep it themselves.
Here's a way I can compare it for you. Last year, Liverpool were on for winning the quadruple. They were on for winning every single title that was possible to win. Klopp came out around February time and said, I'm leaving. What happened to Liverpool? They capitulated. Oh, my manager's leaving. My manager's leaving. Also what did they end up with? They ended up with a Carabao Cup. Yeah. They were on for everything, and they ended up losing. They lost to us in the FA Cup. They lost to Everton in the league.
They were heavily injured too, though. They were heavily injured. They were playing like Kwanzaa and man like that towards the end of the season because they didn't have a lot of guys to come back. So
I
there's a
get it.
caveat there with them.
I get it, but for me, if you want to make an announcement, you do what Fergie did. You do it towards the end of the season. Because Fergie came out and said, it got leaked, to be honest with you, but it was more towards the end of the season that he was leaving. In the middle of the season. One of my last points I want to touch on.
There's so many more.
Well, for me that I have. Ayden Heaven.
Yeah.
Solid debut.
Yeah, did good.
I was worried about him because
did his job.
I don't know if you know this. Do you before we signed him, the only reason, because I remember when we signed him, I was like, I recognized him from somewhere. And then it clicked. He's the guy that 𝗕𝙍𝙍 destroyed in preseason versus Arsenal to score the goal before he injured himself. You know, where Rasmus got the ball and just took off and he left the Arsenal player behind. That was Ayden Heaven. So I was a little skeptical that we signed him. But man, he covered himself in glitter this weekend. I think that was a solid debut.
Did his job.
Absolutely.
Did what he was supposed to do. Put out all the fires that need to be put out, and love to see the kid do that in that type of game. Hate that he wasn't rewarded with a win, but we moved. At least that's the kind of run out you want right there. The guy had enough time to showcase what he can do, get a little sweat under his brow, and now you can say, hey, now the confidence comes in, like, yo, I did pretty good in that. Like a lot of people are raving about it, too, like, I did pretty good in that game. Confidence comes in, sets in. Now you might play a little better. The decisions you make are a little bit more crisp, maybe, right? Giving a guy 3 minutes, and now Amram's fixed that, but that kind of run out is what you want. Shouts to him. He did great.
Yeah. That's that, and that goes to show, man, like, these kids are fighting for Man United, and it's older players that are letting us down. Did we find out if Euro was injured? I don't think he's injured. I think they had in mind that we were facing 𝗈𝙍𝙍 on Thursday. And I think that we needed, and we could see how tired they were. There's no reports as of yet that it was an injury. But there's nothing that I'm hearing from Carrington that it's an injury. I heard the news about Avram. I heard the news from Carrington regarding 𝗕𝗊𝙍𝙍 when he was injured. So I'm not hearing anything regarding that, but doesn't necessarily mean that he's not injured. I'm just thinking more that we were looking towards Thursday. We could see how tired the players were. We needed to get a couple of them off. So
yeah.
I'm really hoping. I haven't had any news on it yet. The 𝗕𝗊𝙍𝙍 will be fit for Thursday. We know that there's a high possibility he may play that game. He does come in. But as of right now, I just don't see him starting. I don't think he's going to be fit, and I think he might be on the. That's it. Which is a worry for me. How much 𝗕𝗊𝙍𝙍 has been injured so far. He's injured quite a bit for a goalkeeper.
A long time too.
Yeah, it's a lot of the season. Yeah, the beginning of the season he was out. Last year he was out. It is kind of worrying how much he's out for a goalkeeper.
I reach out for 𝗈𝗊𝙍𝙍 at this point. I think that's his name. He just had a crazy goal, a crazy save. He's supposed to be the guy, and he turned us down because he wanted to play. He knew he wasn't gonna play. I go for that kid. That kid seems like he knows what's going on.
I wonder if he told Shaw and Mount they aren't part of his plans. Sure, I could see not being part of the plan. The problem with Mount is, where do you recuperate any of the money that you spend from him because of his injury? Also, I'm not going to sit there and say, if he could be fit, because I just don't see that he can be fit. But he is a really good player if he can stay out, and I know Avram really likes him. So Mount's probably not on the chopping block, I would say.
Right.
But sure, I can see, the fact that we signed 2 left backs, I can see that Luke Shaw might have been told that, you're surplus to requirement.
I watched a lot of FA Cup this weekend. I don't know why they would spend 50 million on Onana. So many good keepers in England. Yeah. The FA Cup, you know what it was? It was the the Champions League final.
Yeah.
He played so well in that Champions League final, at least with his feet. But the thing is, with that, Inter is set up that way.
Yeah.
They're set up to play it straight through the middle with feet and have the goalkeeper far up the pitch, right? Even they were doing it against City. Hell, I think it was Lukaku fluffed a couple goals there.
Oh
He
my,
was like
Lukaku missed a sitter from 2
at
yards
point
out.
blank range. Yeah, so they would have been, they had a. That's a thing with retrospect, right? The retrospect to MF, like, but I will hold fast and firm to the point that, bro, there was a time we wanted Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson at Palace now. That's how bad De Gea was doing at the time. We just didn't replace him. We haven't replaced a lot of guys that we wanted out of this club. McTominay still hasn't been really replaced, right? Because he hasn't. Rashford never got replaced in the summer. I mean, in the wintertime, never got found a replacement for him. We didn't have money. We let wingers go and we didn't think to replace them.
Yeah.
Lukaku, man like that. Cavani, all of them, not the greatest. Like, they didn't do a great thing here, but we never got a solid replacement in any of them. Even though Lukaku did give us like 30 goals in one season, we never got anybody close to doing that. Like, except for Martial. Yeah, he was.
I loved Cavani. I thought he was a great player for United, and I think United did him dirty by, Ronaldo coming back and saying, "No, you have to give up your number 7." No, that annoyed me. But in hindsight, we all wanted Ronaldo back when it happened. We all wanted another. There isn't a. I know this. There isn't not. There's not a person in this chat that can put their hand up and say, "I didn't want Onana when we first."
I did want him, but you know who I wanted first was David Raya.
Yes. Yeah.
I was begging for Raya first because it looked like we were linked to him, and then Arsenal came in and swooped in and got him, and I was like, "Fuck." Then
as long as he doesn't have to save a penalty versus.
That guy is really good. Like, he is a great keeper, keeps the game under control, and then in his first season with Arsenal, he wins the Golden Glove. So we missed one there.
Yeah.
James Trafford is who we should get now. James Trafford.
Yeah, he's a good goalkeeper. Yeah, absolutely good goalkeeper. Is there anything you want to touch on?
I want to touch on Wayne Rooney.
Okay.
Wayne Rooney getting absolutely smoked by our manager. And that's about time. Stand up for yourself, Amarim. Stop letting these guys. Wayne Rooney, Plymouth Argyle, Derby, DC United. Stop chatting about manager anything. You can't talk about the manager at Mackey's, brother. You can't talk about nobody that manages anything. You can't manage. So talk about people are naive, brother. You couldn't make it in the MLS. I love Wayne Rooney. Absolutely love Wayne Rooney. Just like I love Roy Keane. I love all of these guys. They are legends. Know more about football in their pinky toe than I know in my entire body and then my ancestors. But when it comes to this manager thing, shush. Just be quiet, please, because it just doesn't look good for him to say that. And Amarim responds with, "Hey, I was a pundit one time. I know it's easy." Ethered him. I love it. Stand up to these guys, bro, because they're just talking down on you. And all Amarim does, he's damned if he do, damned if he doesn't. Like, he's talking about, yo, I want to win the league, and he's like, why is he talking about winning the league? It's like, dog, what do you want me to talk about? Like, we're in 15th. You think I don't know this shit? Yeah. You think I don't know the trouble? I see these bums every day. Every day I see these overpaid bums. You don't think I know this? Come on now. I don't think it helps.
The funny thing is, Amarim's won more in his time as a manager in 4 years than they have combined.
He said, "Hey, I'm 40, and that's why I'm a manager now at 40. What are you doing?" It's like, whoo, damn.
I'm not gonna touch on it because I'm you. It's annoying as hell. Again, I've said this in the past, and if you're a Man United legend and you're talking about culture and you're talking about the players don't play for the badge, and go teach them. You have full access to Carrington. Not a damn person at Carrington that's not going to let you in. Go talk to the players. Go teach them what it's like to play for Man United if that's. Go do it. Rather than chatting shit on Sky Sports News, go out and talk. For me, Sky Sports News went down a while ago. It is what it is. The Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville show, just over my head. I can't with those.
Especially, I like Jamie Carragher on the show with Michael Richards and stuff because it's not serious. It's funny.
Yes.
That's funny then. Then it's like, yeah, cool. And then they give a little insight here and there. But like when you ask him a real question and his mind starts to the gears, the sprockets in his mind starts to turn and the cobwebs get loose. And then he produces this little bit of electricity called a thought. It's always the wrong one. It's always the most daft thing you've ever heard in your life. And it's like, my brother, you played football for a long time for a big team. And you still say the craziest things. It's crazy when it's crazy when Joey Barton is backing you.
The thing for me with Carragher is his greatest achievement is having the most own goals in the Premier League. He didn't win shit. And also, I'm not going to take advice from somebody that spits out of his car into a little girl's face. So, sorry, mate. Let me forget. You're also a fucking scout. And let's not forget what Mourinho said. Why are we listening to a guy that's not even rated in the top 1,000 defenders in Premier League history?
Just saying. That's why I don't really listen to Souness much. He was a thug. Like he wasn't a baller. He was just around a lot of ballers. He was around a lot of ballers. Yeah. He's not somebody that I'm like, yo, he's one of the greatest of all time, man. Like, nah.
And I don't even think he does punditry anymore.
I hope not. It seems like if you played for Liverpool at one point in time, you just have bad ideas. But like our guys are not that much better. But I had to touch on that because I hate every week we have. That's just more news. Yep. It's just more news that we don't need, and it's like you guys are just buying into it. I guess we kind of do the same thing, right? We're the new media, right? But like at the same time, it's like I didn't play in the Premier League for no amount of time. I could still kind of be a little sheltered. My words don't have that much weight. If I'm a young 17-year-old, 18 or 19-year-old kid sitting on the bench for United and I'm hearing you slag off my fucking captain talking about nobody talk about Bruno Fernandes anymore. I won't do it neither. I walked across that bridge a long time ago. We would be in 17th if we didn't have Bruno for a season.
If we lost Bruno now, we'd be in serious trouble.
Nobody look at Bruno. All you Twitter tacticals, right? All you Twitter mandem that's like, oh, worst player in the world. Da 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 da. I would get this player. I would get that player. Brother, when he gets a goal for us out of nowhere on a volley or from wherever, because he gets it with all parts of his body, you're cheering all the same. You're happy that he did it, and he finds a way every time. He had 3 assists the last game before that.
Yep.
I'm sorry, assists aren't a real stat. It's for nerds. My bad.
Assists count because where does the goal come from if it's not?
My bad. Any major sport that requires a ball, especially a round-shaped wall, or there's a goal, there's somebody to assist it, and that's important. Why do we care about what a number 10 does if we don't care about assists? We don't care about him. We don't care about him facilitating it. What did Teddy Sheringham do so well? Didn't he facilitate? Yep. Wasn't he a facilitator? He's a club legend.
Goal.
I'm sorry. I'm just an assist nerd. I'm sorry.
That's cool. Anything else you want to add? We're coming up to 9 o'clock. Anything you want to add? I know we're not on time, but for me, I just want to give a huge shout out again to 1958. If you join late, please go to the link below. Please go and subscribe to them. It is free. They have everything regarding Manchester United and all the protests going on over there. Big up to them for everything they do, and I hope everything goes well on Sunday against Arsenal. And I'm gonna say it: if the game gets called off, the game gets called off. I'm sorry, Casey, but we gotta make our name heard, and if that's what it takes, that's what it takes.
Oh, I do want to say shouts to Balornium and Lucan LLP in the Great Sherman Oaks, California. That's 4730 Woodman Ave, site 405 91423. And you can reach them at 747-444-4444. Personal injury law, legal services, man. Don't kill nobody. But if you slip on a banana at the grocery store or get hit by somebody in a car that's drunk or talking on the phone, you know that stuff happens. Or if you just feel like, hey, they doing me wrong at work, hit up Ike, hit up 𝗕𝗊𝙍, hit up all the man there in the great Showman Hills, California. Casey's there. Don't hit him up. But call 744 no, I'm sorry, 747-444-4444 for all your needs.
So that's another episode of those stateside Reds. I hope everyone is enjoying the new badge. It was launched today. It seems like that's going to be the first one.
The hardest
badge. And we will see you tomorrow for those casual Reds. And Casey, I hope that's still going on. If not, let me know. I will get that set up. Mikey, I'm not sure if we'll see you tomorrow. But if not, I will see you Thursday. And I will be we're going to be, if I get the okay from the 1958 that they're going to be coming on, it will be everywhere. Please look out for it.
Please blast it.
If we, unfortunately, for some reason, can't get the 1958 on, Mr. Green, if you do want to come on, please let us know. We'll get you on Thursday.
We'll know beforehand.
Yeah, we'll know beforehand. We'll know tomorrow. I'll reach out to you, let you know if, unfortunately, the 58 can't come on. But I'm excited for this one. Again, as Mikey said earlier, get all your comments ready because we're gonna be asking them some good questions. And everyone else, peace out. We'll see you Thursday, Mikey, if you're not on tomorrow.
Peace. See you then.